What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting from the D. We got to talk about CoryxKenshin. He's in the algorithm. He got a ex-girlfriend that tried to put him on blast, tried to get him canceled, and it's not really going her way. She claims now that she wasn't trying to get him canceled. She just wanted an apology or something like that. I call BS, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. So apparently, CoryxKenshin spun the block. He tried to hook up with an ex, and that's not uncommon. That happens all the time. Men and women do this, all right? It's very common for someone who you used to smash, you be like, dang, man, we ain't really fall out. And I am sitting here kind of, feeling like doing a little something, something. Let me see what they up to. That's not uncommon. That happens all the damn time. I've reached out to exes. Exes have reached out to me. And I'm sure you guys out there, men and women, can say the same thing. He reaches out to her, and man, she goes on this whole spiel, just being, in my opinion, very manipulative and just being very strange. Honestly, I think that he should have seen that he was being set up. Here's the thing, y'all. If you talking to somebody, you texting somebody, and they start saying some out of pocket stuff that they normally don't say, out of pocket stuff, accusations or whatever that they never have before, you might be being set up. So you should just cease all communication right then and there. But she goes on talking about how she was SA'd before and how they were using her just for that. And he's like, I didn't know that I was put in the same category as them. And it was just really weird, man. So, listen, this is going to be a bit of a controversial take, I think, but I personally think that you got to be very careful when you dealing with a woman that has been SA'd before. And if you a man of a certain caliber, you probably shouldn't deal with a woman that's been SA'd before at all. In many cases, not all. Like, I got to make sure I throw that out there because somebody out there going to be hot over what I'm about to say here. But in many cases, the person will continuously use that as a manipulation tactic. You didn't do that to them, somebody else did. But you're the one that has to keep navigating around this. You have to watch certain things you say because you might think what you're saying is harmless, but it might be some trigger for them in some way. You have to watch how you behave around them. Certain movements or certain ways you touch them might trigger some sort of memory. It's just a lot. And even though it's not their fault that this happened to them, it's not your fault that it happened to them either. So you being made to deal with the fallout of this, it can be extremely unfair. In many cases, I've seen women take that and use it very much as a manipulation tactic to kind of bend the guy to doing different things that they want, which I find to be deplorable. And this isn't all women who've had this experience who do this. There's just some bad actors. And it sucks that there's bad actors in this space at all. Because when someone expresses that they've been through that sort of thing with you, you want to be nice to them. You want to be good to them. You want to support them. And when you find yourself being taken advantage of, like that's like the card that they play to kind of twist your arm into doing certain things or behaving a certain way or just um being a certain type of person for them, like just overall being manipulated. It's really a terrible thing. Certain things that she said in her writings, they just came off extremely manipulative to me. um she says ultimately she wanted an apology, but this woman did some 3-part video thingamabob where she's painting this man out to be a villain. Like she's painting this guy out to be almost worse than the guy who did what he did to her that kind of messed her up to begin with. Now, there's certain things that you could look out for. When I seen what this woman looked like, and this isn't me shaming her looks, I'm just telling you red flags. So she's got some sort of IG account or whatever. It's got like 15,000 followers, where she poses provocatively or whatever. That already, I'm just like, honestly, I'm just not used to women who have been the victim of that sort of thing. And I'm not challenging her being a victim, but I'm not used to women who have been a victim of that sort of thing seemingly so thirsty for the male gaze, if you guys get what I'm saying. And other red flags, she had the septum nose ring, which you guys, I know I've told you guys that plenty of times, that I think that women who get that, that's already a red flag in terms of um character and personality. She's got various different tattoos all over her body that don't look very flattering. So septum ring, the unflattering tats, and then she's got a story of SA. This is just not the type of woman that CoryxKenshin should find himself getting involved with. You might say all guys should avoid this sort of woman, but no, there's guys out there for her. But when you reach a certain level of status, you got to just be super selective about the type of women that you invite into your life, because look what has happened here. Something that was private. She took screenshots of their conversations of him just kind of, being a little horny, trying to see what's up. That's not a crime. But she tried to use that. She tried to weaponize that, actually. I mean, dude is a man and he's trying to get laid. And she's trying to, square that with the fact that he's supposed to be Christian. He has this Christian image and whatnot. And that's really what this is about, isn't it? It's about the fact that you have an ex. He reached out to you for, a session. You seemingly, from the stuff that you were saying, wanted him to be more than that, and he really wasn't that interested. After getting blown off enough times, now you want to blow him up publicly. That's really corny to me, man. And that's again what I say about certain types of women, man. Watch their social media and stuff. If they've shown the capacity to be messy before in the past online, that's not a good woman to deal with. For real. Like, you gotta vet as effective as possible. And I say this as somebody who's been on the receiving end of that online messy stuff before. Like, that stuff's not cute. If you're a person like myself that's private, it's like, hey, reach out to me, talk to me about it. If you got some issue, talk to me about it. I don't care. Blow my phone up telling me what a piece of shit I am or whatever it is. But that public messy stuff, I just don't rock with that, man. I do not like that stuff at all. So ultimately, when it's all said and done, she said a bunch of nothing. And the internet, usually these very unemployed simps that's on Twitter all day and all night, they were running with when she said SA and trying to claim that it was him who did this to her, all because there's some clip. Like, okay, listen, I don't know Corey personally. I know he's from here. I don't know him personally, but you can just tell, like, he a dude that don't really got a ton of game. He kind of like a little awkward when it comes to dealing with the chicks. He has said something playful before about, he had did something to her when she was asleep. All right. And they're using that, claiming, oh, he SA'd her. He did not. It was, could it have been a joke in bad taste because she was SA'd before? Sure. Saying that he did something to her when she was asleep. But he's laughing about it. This is clearly a joke. She's laughing about it. She doesn't have an issue with it in the moment. So her mind didn't go there in that moment that he did something of that nature. So these people who are on the outside looking in, where do they get this idea from? It's just really strange, man. Ultimately, the whole thing was a giant nothing burger. She was just trying to destroy the guy's reputation, destroy his image. Because let's be for real here. If this was some other ex-boyfriend who reached out to her, I'm sure she's had other exes reach out to her before. Every woman has. She ain't putting them on blast publicly. It's only because this is somebody who has a public image. This is somebody who is successful at what he does. You want to try to destroy his public image and in return funnel visibility over to your thing, what you got going on. Trying to gain clout by destroying his image, his good name, whatever. I don't respect that stuff. So in terms of her being a victim of SA before, I'm sympathetic to that. But I don't like when people try to use that as a card that they can always play. Even now with this, she's still using that to be manipulative to perfect strangers. So I can only imagine how she was throwing that around to him, somebody that actually knew her intimately. It's really scary to think about. So you guys, I say this to you because in many cases, being a man is under attack. I mean, Ben McLemore, he just got 8 years over some BS going to a party and smashing some chick there. They both got intoxicated, but he's the victim. They both got, I mean, he's the aggressor. She's the victim. They both got intoxicated. According to him, she consented. It's his word versus her word. But they like, oh, she actually wasn't sober enough to consent. And I'm just like, so by that logic, can he file charges against her saying, I was really wasted. I really wasn't sober enough to consent. You see what I mean? Just be careful, you guys, because it is very easy for a woman to use the halo effect. Y'all ever heard me say that before, but it's true. The halo effect that women have. She's automatically looked at as being innocent. You're automatically looked at as being guilty. The halo effect that women have, even when they're dead ass wrong, can have you canceled, can have you put in prison. So just be careful out there, you guys. This doesn't seem like it's gonna affect his career negatively in any way, and I'm glad that it's not. It shouldn't. When people were finally starting to put her on blast about exposing they business like that, it's like, this is a private relationship. Like, why are we seeing these text messages? And why are you exposing the fact that you had a cancer diagnosis and that he should understand where you're coming from because his mother had that as well? We didn't know that. Why are you putting his mama business out there? Like, you see what I'm saying, man? It was not cool to reveal to the public something like that about his mom. He not revealing your information. You revealing this on your own. But in revealing what you got going on, you gonna throw his mom out there just to make a point? Be careful of these chicks, man. For real. Like, you guys may think it's you're at less of a risk because you may not be high profile by some, you may not be a high profile person like he is, or like Ben McLemore. He really wasn't high profile, but he was an NBA player, so he was kind of like elevated status. You may think I'm just a regular guy or whatever, I'm not at risk. That's not true, man. Regular dudes end up in bad situations every single day because of some chick either lying or greatly embellishing a situation. So I'm gonna leave it there. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. And hit me in them comments. I'm holla at y'all. Peace.